A beautiful young mother vanishes without a trace. Appeals from the police and her family go unanswered. A man charged in a no-body murder investigation. But where is Casha Smith?
Welcome to Vanished Voices UK, your new favourite spot for curious missing persons cases, true crime stories, and in-depth investigations.
The disappearance of Casha Smith. A tragic story of a mother's murder. What really happened to 35-year-old mum of three, Casha Smith, last seen on a FaceTime call and now at the centre of a murder inquiry with no body ever found? In this video, we look at the timeline of her disappearance, the investigation, the theories, unanswered questions, and much more. Casha Smith was a 35-year-old woman from the Wester Hales area of Edinburgh. She lived in a ground floor flat on Calder Grove and was known locally as a devoted mother to her three children. According to family statements and police reports, Casha was someone who maintained regular contact with her relatives. She was especially close to her mother, Nicola Neal, who spoke publicly about the deep bond that they shared. Casha was described by her family as kind, caring and loving, someone who would never have gone missing without contacting them. Visually, she was of slim build with long blonde hair. She had multiple tattoos, including a prominent one on her right wrist that read "Forever." These features were highlighted by Police Scotland in their initial appeals, reflecting their concern about her sudden and unexplained disappearance. In summary, Casha Smith was a dedicated mother and a much-loved daughter who lived a quiet life in Edinburgh and maintained strong, consistent ties with her family. Her abrupt disappearance, with no sign of planning or contact, raised alarm bells among those closest to her and eventually led police to open a full-scale murder investigation. Police Scotland record that Casha Smith was last seen safe and well on the 10th of October 2023 during a FaceTime call with a friend. This remains the last confirmed sighting of her. Although the last confirmed sighting of Casha was the FaceTime call, after that date, however, it seems that she may have had contact with her family through text messages or some other way. There is a mention in some reports of contact up until the 4th of November. On the 5th of January 2024, a family member formally reported Casha missing to Police Scotland, noting that she had not been in touch since early October. Officers immediately treated the call as a missing person inquiry. Throughout January and into February 2024, Police Scotland kept the investigation as an open missing person case. In March 2024, Casha's mother Nicola Neal and daughter Casha Smith joined Detective Chief Inspector Bob Williamson at a public appeal. They urged anyone with information, no matter how small, to come forward, underscoring the family's mounting alarm. The reason for the delay in reporting Casha missing is unclear, but a theory I've come up with during my research is that her children may have been staying or living with their father at the time. From her Facebook profile, it seems Casha was married once before, but not to the person who would later be charged with her murder. From the time Casha was reported missing, Police Scotland launched a coordinated and escalating investigation, led by officers from the Major Investigation Team. While the case initially began as a high-risk missing person inquiry, the tone and focus shifted as weeks passed without any signs of Casha. This prompted detectives to treat her disappearance as suspicious. Police carried out detailed forensic searches of Casha's flat on Calder Grove in Wester Hales. Officers also conducted ground-level searches in the local area, including woodland and the Union Canal, as well as searches in nearby storage units. These searches weren't random. They were based on intelligence and aimed at identifying potential disposal or concealment sites. Specialist resources were brought in, including search dogs and underwater teams, reflecting the growing seriousness of the inquiry. Throughout the early months of the investigation, police reviewed CCTV footage from the local area and appealed to the public for doorbell and dashcam footage. Officers were clear that they were working with an open mind, but by mid-2024, the tone of official statements changed. Investigators extracted and examined Casha's phone and social media records early on, confirming that all her accounts went silent after early November, with no login activity or outgoing messages. On the 7th of September 2024, Police Scotland arrested Casha's partner, 26-year-old John Byrne, in connection with her disappearance. Later that day, he was formally charged with her murder. Frustratingly, there doesn't seem to be any pictures of John on any of the reports. This is probably to protect the integrity of his trial. John Byrne was also charged with attempting to defeat the ends of justice. This additional charge reflects allegations that Byrne took active steps to conceal evidence or hinder the investigation, such as disposing of material pertinent to the inquiry. In a public statement following the arrest, Detective Chief Inspector Bob Williamson confirmed that following extensive inquiries, Miss Smith is believed to be dead. This marked a significant turning point in the case. Police were now treating it as a homicide, despite the absence of a body. It's important to note that the police have not disclosed specific evidence leading to the charge. However, the nature of the defeating the ends of justice charge implies investigators believe that Byrne took steps to conceal the crime, such as disposing of the body or interfering with forensic evidence. Police have publicly stated that they found no history of 999 calls or recorded domestic incident reports involving the couple. Is this because there weren't any? Or could it be that she didn't or couldn't report it? Despite the arrest and charges, the investigation remains active. Police continue to appeal for help from the public, particularly for information that could lead to the discovery of Casha's body. DCI Williamson stressed that locating her remains continues to be a priority for both the investigation and the family. Byrne made his first court appearance at Edinburgh Sheriff Court on the 9th of September 2024. In line with the standard Scottish procedure for initial hearings, his appearance was held in private. He entered no plea or declaration at that stage and was remanded in custody pending further proceedings. There is no public record of bail terms having been granted, and Byrne remains detained while his case progresses toward trial. As of June 2025, no trial date has been publicly set. Byrne's remand status effectively means he is held in custody, but he has not yet been convicted. The Crown must still prove its case at trial. Casha's family have been at the forefront of public appeals from the earliest days of her disappearance. Their emotional statements underscore both the depth of their love for her and the devastation caused by her absence. Daughter Casha Smith spoke about her mother's case and said, "I recently had my 18th birthday and didn't hear anything from my mum. She would never miss my birthday, my sister's birthdays, or Christmas. It feels like I'm living in the worst dream I could ever imagine. Even the smallest piece of information might be all we need to find her." Casha made this appeal alongside her grandmother on the 4th of March 2024, urging anyone with information to come forward and help bring my mum home for me. Casha's mother, Nicola Neal, stated, "Casha is my friend as well as my daughter, and we are living in a nightmare. It's hard to find the words to explain the not knowing where she is and if anything has happened to her. This waiting is unbearable. I'm begging you from the bottom of my heart, please help us bring Casha home." Nicola's heartfelt plea highlighted the family's anguish and their refusal to abandon hope. Casha's aunt, Carrie Duke, in a social media post reappealing for information, described the family as broken, terrified, and in physical pain, likening the uncertainty to a living hell. She launched a fundraiser for a memorial bench in Sawton Park so that anyone wishing to pay respects can visit. Inspector Paul Thompson initially asked directly for Casha herself to please make contact so that we know she is safe and well, and then for anyone who may have seen her, emphasising that no detail is too small. This official voice, aligned with the family's urgency, is a constant reminder of how high priority the search remains. Together, these statements paint a portrait of a family united in grief and determination. Their ongoing public appeals serve not only to keep Casha's absence in the spotlight, but also to encourage anyone with even the faintest memory or observation to step forward.
Callie, if you're okay, if you could read your statement, please.
I recently had my 18th birthday and didn't hear anything from my mum. She would never miss mine or my sister's birthdays, or Christmas, and we just miss her so much. I would do anything for her to walk through the door and just to give her a big hug. It feels like I'm living the worst dream that we could ever possibly imagine, and I can't express how much we want my mum to just come home. Even the smallest bit of information that could help us find her. I'm asking anyone that could please come forward to help the police bring my mum home for me, my sisters and the rest of the family.
The investigation into Casha's disappearance deeply affected the Wester Hells community and beyond. In the months following her disappearance, neighbours and local groups rallied. A public vigil was held in the summer of 2024 at the park where the memorial bench was placed. This was attended by dozens of local residents, friends and extended family. Attendees carried lanterns and laid flowers around the bench, underscoring how Casha's absence has reverberated across the neighbourhood. Community leaders spoke of the need to stand together and light the way for anyone who might hold information. Beyond the bench appeal, informal fundraising events including bake sales and sponsored walks have been organised by community groups in Wester Hales. A dedicated Facebook page, Bring Casha Home, regularly circulates posters and details of Police Scotland's major incident public portal. Posters and flyers have been displayed in shops, cafes and on community centre notice boards throughout Georgie, Broomhouse and Wester Hales. Staff at a nearby Edinburgh College campus, where Casha was briefly employed, have also circulated appeals among students and faculty, broadening the reach of the search across the city. Together, these acts of solidarity reflect a community determined not to let Casha's case fade into obscurity. The memorial bench and vigils serve both as a tribute to her life and as a continual reminder that until she is found, the search and the hope must go on. Although Police Scotland maintain an open investigation and have released only limited details, several plausible theories have emerged, some grounded in the known facts, others drawn from local discussions and tabloid reports. Investigators have repeatedly searched the Union Canal near Calder Grove, deploying underwater units and cadaver dogs after specific information suggested that a body might be in the waterway. It is therefore reasonable to surmise that if Byrne were responsible, he may have concealed remains there. The canal's depth and low visibility, however, make recovery extremely difficult. Early in the inquiry, officers searched several metal storage containers close to Casha's flat. Some online commentators have speculated that Byrne, or an accomplice, might have used one of these locked units to hide evidence given their proximity and privacy. No official confirmation has been released, but this aligns with the defeating the ends of justice charge, which implies active concealment. Some people on discussion boards propose that an argument or accident between Casha and Byrne may have turned fatal, with Byrne panicking and disposing of her body to avoid detection. This scenario would fit the lack of premeditated planning, no travel preparations, no immediate flight risk, and the abrupt cessation of all contact. Voluntary disappearance is almost always a consideration. However, there doesn't seem to be anything to suggest that Casha would leave voluntarily. None of her personal belongings were packed or taken from the flat, and would she really leave all her family members behind? Each of these theories attempts to make sense of the known investigation steps: canal dives, storage unit searches, and the defeating the ends of justice charge, while acknowledging the substantial gaps that remain. They illustrate why the police continue to appeal for information. Any new detail might confirm or rule out one of these scenarios and bring the truth of Casha's fate to light. Despite the charge and extensive inquiries, many critical aspects of Casha Smith's case remain unsolved. Where are Casha's remains? Police Scotland have conducted multiple searches but have not found a trace of her body. Until the remains are located, key forensic questions such as cause and timing of death cannot be answered. What specific evidence ties John Byrne to her disappearance? The Crown has not disclosed the forensic or digital material details that met the realistic prospect of conviction test. We know only that extensive inquiries convinced detectives to charge him with murder, but the precise nature of that evidence remains under seal. Why are there gaps in CCTV and phone location data? Casha's last confirmed sighting was on the 10th of October 2023, yet her disappearance was not reported until the 5th of January 2024. Investigators have trawled CCTV and mobile phone records in that period, but public statements have not explained why no sightings or location pings emerged during those crucial 3 months. What was the true nature of her relationship with Byrne? Police have said they consider all aspects of Miss Smith's personal life, but have released no information on whether there were prior domestic incident calls, disputes, or other red flags in their home life, details that could shed light on motive and timing. Were any witnesses ever identified near Calder Grove? Despite numerous public appeals for doorbell, dashcam and CCTV footage, no credible eyewitness has come forward to place Casha, or anyone acting suspiciously, outside her flat after the 10th of October. It remains unclear whether that reflects a genuine lack of sightings or unreported observations. What became of the searches of the storage containers? Officers searched several metal units adjacent to her flat on unspecified intelligence grounds, but have not confirmed whether any forensic material, e.g. fibres or DNA, was recovered or ruled out entirely before charging Byrne. And what was the motive? Neither police nor the Crown have articulated why Byrne would have killed Casha, and no previous disputes have been publicly recorded. Her family insist that she had no ongoing conflicts, leaving motive one of the thorniest unanswered questions. Each of these points highlights the gaps that still exist, gaps the family and investigators alike hope to fill through continued public appeals and the forthcoming court process. In summary, the disappearance of 35-year-old mother of 3 Casha Smith has evolved from a missing person inquiry into a murder investigation following the arrest and charging of her partner John Byrne. Despite extensive forensic searches, CCTV trawls and digital data analysis, Casha's body remains missing, leaving critical questions about motive, timeline and evidence unanswered. Her family's heartfelt appeals and community vigils have kept the spotlight on this complex nobody case in the hopes of finding Casha's remains to secure irrefutable proof of cause and time of death. If you have any information, no matter how minor it may seem, that could assist in the investigation, please call Police Scotland on 101, quoting incident 3915 of the 5th of January 2024, or call Crime Stoppers anonymously on 0800 555 111. Or you can even submit information directly and anonymously through Police Scotland's major investigation public portal using the case code SCOT24S01 at mipp.police.uk. Your information could be the key to bringing Casha home, delivering justice, and giving her family the closure they desperately need. I truly hope that Casha's family get the answers that they deserve, and that justice is brought against whoever is responsible. As always, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and remember, every missing person deserves to be found. Like, comment and subscribe to see more new and cold missing persons cases from the UK.